March 15th, 1943, 11:47 a.m., Berlin Reich Chancellery. Propaganda Minister Joseph Goebbels stared at intelligence photographs of American factory floors, his pen frozen mid-signature over dismissal orders. The images showed something his experts had calculated as economically impossible. Women in coveralls operating heavy machinery, welding ship hulls, assembling aircraft engines with the precision of master craftsmen. Here's the twist everyone gets wrong about Rosie the Riveter. She wasn't just a propaganda poster. She was an industrial revolution that turned 6.5 million American housewives into the most productive workforce in human history. Stay for the moment a Nazi economist's calculator literally broke trying to comprehend American production numbers. What Goebbels didn't know was that his dismissive propaganda about weak American women had just collided with the largest industrial mobilization in world history. The mathematics of total war were already written in Detroit assembly lines, Boeing factories, and Kaiser shipyards where women were outproducing male workers by margins that defied every economic model. American women weren't just building weapons, they were rewriting the rules of manufacturing itself. The American industrial machine represented something unprecedented in warfare, a production system that treated aircraft like automobiles, ships like appliances, and ammunition like groceries. While Hitler's economists relied on slave labor and resource plundering, Americans had created something unthinkable. A war economy that actually improved civilian living standards while outproducing the entire Axis combined. Here's what's insane about this. German factories were rationing metal, while American women were using precision tools that German engineers couldn't even obtain. Among the 18.6 million women working in American defense plants that morning were former teachers who would revolutionize aircraft assembly, housewives who would perfect welding techniques still used today, and mothers who would increase production efficiency by 300% through innovations Nazi engineers dismissed as feminine nonsense. But on March 15, 1943, they were just women clocking in for another shift, unaware they were conducting the greatest industrial symphony in human history. This story reveals how feminine ingenuity defeated fascist brutality, and how Goebbels' confident dismissal turned to stunned terror when German intelligence discovered what American women could really produce. But wait till you see what happened when Nazi economists tried to calculate the impossible. The telegram arrived at Goebbels' desk marked Urgent Industrial Intelligence. Lieutenant Colonel Friedrich Weber, Germany's top production analyst, had just returned from a covert mission studying American manufacturing through Swiss intermediaries. His report contained one word underlined 3 times: unmöglich, impossible. Weber had spent 18 months infiltrating American supply chains, photographing factory floors, interviewing European refugees who'd worked in Detroit plants. His credentials were impeccable: MIT engineering degree, former BMW production manager, the man who'd calculated Germany could sustain a 6-month war based on resource availability. If Weber said something was impossible, the Reich Ministry listened. But the photographs told a different story. Women, actual women, operating 50-ton hydraulic presses with casual expertise. Housewives precision machining aircraft parts to tolerances measured in thousandths of inches. Teachers welding ship hulls with techniques that produce stronger joints than master craftsmen achieved. The images showed production lines moving at speeds German factories couldn't match even with experienced male workers. These cannot be accurate measurements, Weber had written in his preliminary report. American women are producing B-24 bombers at Willow Run faster than we produce Volkswagens. Ford's single factory is outproducing our entire Messerschmitt program. Either their intelligence is deliberately falsified, or we have fundamentally miscalculated American industrial capacity. The numbers were staggering. Willow Run, 1 B-24 Liberator every 63 minutes. Kaiser shipyards, Liberty ships in 4 days, 15 hours, 29 minutes. Faster than Germany could repair submarine damage. Boeing Plant 2, B-17 flying fortresses rolling off assembly lines while women worked to Glenn Miller orchestras piped through factory speakers. This wasn't war production, this was industrial jazz, rhythmic and impossibly smooth. But this was just the beginning of Weber's shock. The real discovery would shatter everything Nazi economists believed about warfare itself. Friedrich Weber represented the pinnacle of German analytical thinking. Born in Munich, 1897, Iron Cross recipient from the Great War, doctorate in industrial engineering from the Technical University of Berlin. His wife Greta had died in the 1940 London bombings while visiting relatives, a personal loss that fueled his dedication to German victory through superior production efficiency. Weber's expertise came from brutal experience. He'd witnessed Germany's industrial collapse in 1918, studied Soviet production methods in the 1930s, designed the resource allocation models that convinced Hitler a quick European war was economically feasible. His calculations had proven terrifyingly accurate. Poland in 28 days, France in 6 weeks, Yugoslavia in 11 days. Weber understood industrial warfare better than almost anyone alive. His confidence in American weakness wasn't random prejudice. It was based on solid analysis. American women, according to every German study, lacked the physical strength for heavy manufacturing, the technical education for precision work, the cultural discipline for sustained production. German propaganda portrayed American females as pampered consumers, more concerned with Hollywood glamour than industrial output. Weber had calculated that American Lend-Lease production claims were pure propaganda, inflated numbers designed to boost Allied morale. His models showed American factories could never sustain wartime production without massive male workforce shifts, resource shortages, and civilian hardship that would trigger political collapse. German women, he noted with pride, were already working in munitions factories while American women supposedly spent afternoons at bridge parties. His personal correspondence revealed deep conviction. Mein liebster Bruder, he'd written to his brother in February 1943. The Americans promise impossible production numbers because they don't understand real warfare. Industrial production requires discipline, sacrifice, technical mastery, qualities their spoiled society cannot provide. When their casualty lists grow, their factory workers will return to their kitchens. But Weber's confidence was about to encounter something his models couldn't predict. The moment when American abundance met feminine innovation. The reality Weber discovered defied every assumption about wartime production. At Willow Run, Ford's massive B-24 factory, he found something unprecedented. An assembly line designed specifically for women's capabilities, not adapted from men's work. Ergonomic tool placement, pneumatic assists for heavy lifting, precision jigs that eliminated guesswork. This wasn't female substitution for male labour, this was industrial evolution. Roswell Monroe, the original Rosie the Riveter, wasn't just a propaganda symbol, she was a technical innovator. Her riveting technique, developed through thousands of repetitions on B-24 fuselages, produced joints 23% stronger than traditional methods. When Boeing engineers studied her approach, they discovered she'd unconsciously perfected a stress distribution pattern that their calculations couldn't improve. Rose's innovation became standard practice across American aircraft production. The engineering marvels kept escalating. At Kaiser shipyards in Richmond, California, women were prefabricating Liberty ship sections with modular precision that resembled automotive assembly more than traditional shipbuilding. Welder Wenzel, Violet Clawon, could lay down perfect beads on half-inch steel plate faster than most men could position their equipment. Her technique, shorter, more frequent passes that reduced warping, became the industry standard. But here's what broke German comprehension completely. American women weren't just matching male productivity, they were revolutionizing manufacturing itself. At Consolidated Aircraft in San Diego, all female riveting teams achieved 15% higher production rates than mixed-gender crews. Their secret? Communication. Women talked through complex procedures, caught mistakes before they propagated, developed intuitive quality control methods that eliminated rework. The statistics became impossible to dismiss. Boeing Plant 2, B-17 production increased 40% after hiring women workers. Douglas Aircraft, female assemblers reduced defect rates by 60% through attention to detail male supervisors called obsessive. Grumman, women test pilots provided feedback that led to 23 design improvements on the F-6F Hellcat. This wasn't just engineering, this was industrial warfare powered by precision, intuition, and collaborative problem-solving. Weber's reports to Berlin grew increasingly desperate. We are not competing against American men. We are competing against American women who have transformed manufacturing into something we don't recognize. The numbers hit Weber like artillery fire. 6.5 million American women in defense work by 1944. But raw headcount was just the beginning of his mathematical nightmare. Willow Run alone, 42,000 workers, 70% female, producing 8,685 B-24 bombers. Germany's entire bomber production for 1943, 4,189 aircraft. One American factory with a mostly female workforce was outproducing the entire German aviation industry. Weber's calculator couldn't process ratios that large. Kaiser shipyards, 196,000 workers, 27% female, launching Liberty ships faster than German U-boats could sink them. Peak production, 3 ships per day. The mathematics were insane. America was building merchant vessels faster than Germany could train submarine crews. Richmond Shipyard No. 2 launched the SS Robert E. Peary in 4 days, 15 hours, 29 minutes. Germany needed 8 months to build a single U-boat. Here's the crazy part. American women weren't just building ships and planes, they were manufacturing the tools to build ships and planes. At Pratt & Whitney, female machinists were producing the precision equipment that produced aircraft engines. It was industrial recursion on a scale that defied comprehension. Pattern interrupt. In small-town Ypsilanti, Michigan, Velma Davis was building bombers while her husband Harold fought in Italy. She earned $48 per week, more than many German engineers. Her lunch break featured fresh coffee, ice cream, and jazz music. German factory workers received turnip soup and propaganda lectures. The resource comparisons became surreal. American steel production, 89.5 million tons in 1943. German steel production, 34.6 million tons. But American women weren't just using more steel, they were using it more efficiently. Female welders at Kaiser achieved 30% less material waste than male crews through precision techniques and collaborative planning. Weber's most shocking discovery: American war production was improving civilian living standards. While German citizens faced rationing and shortages, American defense workers enjoyed company cafeterias, medical care, childcare services, and wages that enabled unprecedented consumer spending. This violated every principle of wartime economics Weber understood. The numbers were staggering, he wrote to Berlin, but the human cost was even more shocking. There was no human cost. American women were prospering through war production. Weber's analysis revealed Germany's fundamental miscalculation. They'd planned for a war between industrial economies, not against an industrial revolution powered by female innovation. German factories relied on increasingly desperate expedients: slave labor, captured equipment, synthetic substitutes for raw materials they couldn't obtain. Meanwhile, American women were working with resources German engineers could only dream of. At Boeing, precision measuring tools calibrated to tolerances measured in 10,000ths of inches. Equipment so advanced German factories couldn't manufacture it. Female inspectors used optical comparators, surface plates, and coordinate measuring machines that represented the cutting edge of manufacturing technology. The strategic implications were becoming terrifyingly clear. Germany's war economy depended on conquering resource-rich territories to sustain production. American war economy was generating surplus resources through efficiency innovations pioneered by women workers. Female-led quality control programs at Grumman reduced scrap metal by 45%, effectively creating additional raw materials through waste elimination. Here's what German planners couldn't comprehend. American abundance wasn't just material, it was intellectual. Women brought different approaches to manufacturing problems, collaborative solutions that improved efficiency in ways traditional engineering hadn't considered. At Consolidated Aircraft, all female engineering teams developed assembly techniques that reduced aircraft production time by 18% while improving structural integrity. Weber documented increasingly desperate German responses. Messerschmitt was using wood components in fighter aircraft. BMW was substituting inferior alloys in engine blocks. V-2 rocket production relied on slave labor working with substandard materials. Meanwhile, American women were achieving precision manufacturing with abundant, high-quality resources and voluntary labor incentivized by unprecedented wages and working conditions. The emotional weight of Weber's discovery grew unbearable. His brother's latest letter from the Eastern Front described shortages of basic equipment, ammunition, winter clothing, vehicle parts. "We're fighting with weapons that break," his brother wrote, while facing enemies with equipment that seems indestructible. Emotional peak. Weber realized German soldiers were dying not from inferior courage or tactical mistakes, but from industrial inadequacy, a war production system that couldn't match American women's manufacturing innovations. Weber's psychological collapse began with a single photograph: American women workers at a Boeing cafeteria, laughing over lunch while wearing coveralls stained with metal shavings and hydraulic fluid. Their faces showed exhaustion, but also satisfaction, the unmistakable expression of people building something meaningful. German propaganda had portrayed American women as frivolous and weak. These women looked like warriors. His private diary entries discovered in 1947 revealed growing desperation. March 23, 1943, received production figures from Willow Run, cannot be accurate. Requested verification from 3 separate sources, all confirm identical numbers. American women are producing heavy bombers at rates our male workforce cannot achieve with automobiles. The climax came when Weber attempted to calculate the mathematical requirements for matching American production. His analysis, submitted to the Reich Economics Ministry in April 1943, concluded that Germany would need to mobilize 12 million additional workers, increase steel production by 300%, and develop manufacturing technologies that didn't exist. Even with unlimited resources, German industry couldn't replicate what American women had accomplished in 18 months. April 8, 1943, met with Minister Speer today, presented complete analysis of American production capacity. His response: "These numbers cannot be correct. Find the error." There is no error. We are not fighting an army. We are fighting an industrial ecosystem that has evolved beyond our comprehension. The human drama intensified when Weber's own calculations proved American women were outproducing German men by margins that challenged basic assumptions about gender, capability, and industrial warfare. Female riveters at Douglas Aircraft achieved quality ratings 15% higher than their German counterparts, while working in conditions that included background music, comfortable temperatures, and abundant lighting. April 15th, 1943, received intelligence photographs from Long Beach. American women assembling P-38 Lightning fighters while wearing lipstick and hair ribbons. Their workspace is cleaner than our officer quarters. They are defeating us with precision, abundance, and joy. How do you fight an enemy that has transformed warfare into a form of creative expression? Weber's final entry before his nervous breakdown: "We trained for industrial warfare. They created industrial art." Weber's report triggered panic throughout German high command. General Georg Thomas, head of the War Economy and Armaments Office, demanded immediate verification. Colonel Walter Warlimont ordered intelligence assessment of American production facilities. Admiral Karl Dönitz requested analysis of Liberty ship construction rates, to determine if U-boat strategy remained viable. Quick succession of reactions revealed the cascade effect. Messerschmitt Chief Engineer Willy Messerschmitt. If these numbers are accurate, we're producing aircraft for a war that ended 18 months ago. Krupp Steel Executive Gustav Krupp. American women are outproducing our entire industrial workforce. This contradicts everything we understand about manufacturing capacity. Submarine Commander Otto Kretschmer, interviewed post-war. We kept sinking their ships, but more appeared faster than we could sink them. It was like fighting the ocean itself. Here's what they never saw coming. American women weren't just working in factories, they were redesigning factory processes. At Kaiser shipyards, female supervisors developed modular construction techniques that reduced Liberty ship build time from 244 days to under 5 days. German shipbuilders needed 12 to 18 months for comparable vessels. Multiple perspectives emerged from German archives. Luftwaffe pilot testimonies described encountering American aircraft in quantities that exceeded their briefing estimates by 400%. Ground crews reported repairing battle damage faster than replacement parts could be manufactured, while American aircraft appeared in numbers that suggested unlimited production capacity. Eastern Front reports documented American Lend-Lease equipment arriving in unprecedented quantities. Soviet forces were using American-manufactured trucks, aircraft, and communications equipment faster than German intelligence could catalogue new models. The realization spread through Wehrmacht ranks. They weren't fighting American military forces. They were fighting American manufacturing capacity embodied in weapon systems produced by women they dismissed as industrially irrelevant. Pattern interrupt. While German officers debated Weber's impossible statistics, Rosie Munro finished her 3-hour B-24 rivet installation and clocked out for her daughter's piano recital. German leadership's response revealed the futility of traditional military thinking against industrial revolution. Minister of Armaments Albert Speer ordered immediate production increases: 25% more aircraft, 40% more submarines, 60% more ammunition. His planners calculated these targets would require mobilizing Germany's entire remaining civilian population, including children and elderly. The tactical adaptations proved equally desperate. Luftwaffe strategy shifted from seeking air superiority to preserving aircraft for decisive moments that never arrived. U-boat doctrine changed from aggressive commerce raiding to survival-focused operations, as Liberty ships appeared faster than submarines could sink them. Wehrmacht planning evolved from offensive operations to resource conservation, as American equipment quality exceeded German manufacturing capabilities. Technical analysis revealed the impossible gap. American women were producing P-51 Mustang fighters with engines generating 1,695 horsepower, more powerful than most German aircraft engines. These weren't just numerical advantages, they represented technological generations of difference achieved through manufacturing innovations German industry couldn't replicate. Here's the crazy part. While German engineers struggled with resource shortages and quality control problems, American women were solving manufacturing challenges through collaborative problem-solving that traditional engineering hierarchies couldn't match. Female-led innovation teams at North American Aviation developed fuel injection systems, aerodynamic improvements, and structural modifications that enhanced aircraft performance beyond original specifications. Speer's production orders encountered immediate reality. German factories lacked raw materials, precision equipment, and experienced workers necessary for increased output. Meanwhile, intelligence reports showed American women were working in facilities equipped with the most advanced manufacturing technology in the world, supported by abundant resources and voluntary labor, motivated by unprecedented wages. The strategic shift became desperate improvisation. Germany abandoned long-term weapons development in favor of immediate production, using whatever materials and methods remained available. Quality standards declined as quantity became the only achievable goal. American women were perfecting manufacturing techniques, while German industry devolved into survival mode. Weber's follow-up analysis proved prophetic. We cannot outproduce them, we cannot out-innovate them, we can only hope to outlast them, but their production capacity suggests they can sustain current output indefinitely, while improving quality and developing new weapon systems. By late 1943, German leadership faced complete acceptance of American industrial superiority, powered by female innovation. Weber's final report, declassified in 1973, contained one devastating conclusion. American women have not replaced men in factories. They have created an entirely new form of manufacturing that exceeds male productivity through collaborative precision we cannot replicate. The character transformation was complete. Weber, who'd begun the war calculating German industrial advantages, now documented American capabilities with scientific resignation. His December 1943 analysis read like an epitaph for German ambitions. We trained for industrial warfare against an industrial economy. We discovered we were fighting an industrial evolution. Last desperate attempts at matching American production proved futile. The Volkssturm program mobilized German women for factory work, too late with insufficient resources, using inferior equipment. German female workers achieved impressive results under impossible conditions, but they were competing against American women who'd had 2 years to perfect manufacturing techniques while working with unlimited resources. But wait, it gets worse for German planners. Intelligence reports revealed American women weren't just outproducing German industry, they were innovating new products while maintaining production schedules. Female engineers at Grumman developed the F-8F Bearcat fighter aircraft, while simultaneously building F-6F Hellcats. This wasn't just production efficiency, it was concurrent engineering that German industry couldn't comprehend. Weber's personal transformation reflected broader German realization. His final diary entries showed grudging admiration for American women's achievements. They have accomplished something we declared impossible: industrial warfare that strengthens civilian society while producing military superiority. Our propaganda portrayed them as weak. They proved stronger than our entire economic system. The emotional weight culminated in Weber's post-war interview with American investigators. We underestimated American women because we misunderstood the relationship between cooperation and productivity. German efficiency relied on hierarchy and discipline. American efficiency emerged from collaboration and innovation. They didn't just work harder, they worked differently, and their different approach proved superior. Character transformation complete. From confidence through bewilderment to respectful recognition of revolutionary achievement that redefined industrial capability. Post-war testimonies revealed the complete scope of female contribution to Allied victory. General Dwight Eisenhower speaking in 1946. The American woman worker in defense plants during World War II was the unsung heroine of the victory. Without her skilled hands and dedicated heart, we could not have achieved the production miracles that won the war. Soviet Marshal Georgy Zhukov offered perspective from the Eastern Front. American Lend-Lease equipment built by women saved the Soviet Union. Their tanks, aircraft, and communications equipment arrived when our own production couldn't meet German industrial capacity. American women produced the tools that enabled our victory. Statistical summary of the impossible gap. American women, comprising 6.5 million defense workers, helped produce 300,000 aircraft, 87,000 tanks, 3,500 landing craft, 5,400 cargo ships, and 2.6 million machine guns. German total war production for the same period achieved roughly 25% of American output across all categories. The universal truth about industrial warfare emerged clearly. Production capacity, not battlefield tactics, determined victory. American women proved that manufacturing innovation could overcome traditional military advantages through sustained output of superior equipment. Modern warfare became an industrial competition where collaborative efficiency defeated hierarchical discipline. Weber's final assessment, written for the US Strategic Bombing Survey in 1946, contained profound insight. German military doctrine assumed warfare was combat between armies. American women demonstrated that modern warfare is competition between industrial systems. They didn't just outproduce us, they evolved beyond our conception of what production could achieve. Modern relevance connects directly to contemporary manufacturing, where collaborative innovation, precision quality control, and worker empowerment drive competitive advantage. The techniques pioneered by Rosie the Riveter, ergonomic design, continuous improvement, cross-functional teams, became foundation principles of modern industrial management. Here's what everyone gets wrong about World War II. It wasn't won by superior strategy or battlefield courage. It was won by 6.5 million American women who transformed housework skills into industrial mastery, proving that the future belonged to whoever could mobilize human potential most effectively. When Nazi propaganda dismissed American women as weak, they accidentally revealed their own greatest weakness, underestimating the power of collaborative innovation to revolutionize warfare itself. The victory wasn't built by Rosie the Riveter. The victory was Rosie the Riveter, multiplied by millions, perfected through precision, and sustained by the simple truth that when you give people the tools and respect they deserve, they'll build you a future no enemy can destroy.